So in Star Wars: Old Republic, another one in this little series of videos, hopefully helping out completely new players, even if you're completely new to these MMO type games. At this point, we're assuming that you have finished your class story on the second planet, which is the faction capital for the Republic, as I'm on the Jedi Sage, who I've spec'd as a healer. It is Coruscant. At the end of your class quest, you will get your personal starship. And it is a starship, not just a little fighter. It's a big starship you can live in, basically, and you will use that to travel around. And how to find it, how to get to it. So in front of us, you will recognize this from other videos, this is the Senate. You will probably be in the Senate for the mission that gives you your ship. And then over there is the spaceport, and that's where we're going to head. Love the scenery. Of course, it's one of my favorite planets to go to. So up ahead is where we arrived, actually, when we came from the fleet, originally arriving. Of course, if we came through, we came at this elevator here. If we wanted to take the shuttle back there, we can actually use this elevator, go back to the shuttle, go back to the fleet. But once you get your ship, you will no longer need that. So you can use the map anyway, as I have shown you before. Now, I don't have any active missions, so nothing is telling me to go anywhere by giving me green indicators. For instance, this is, now here I am, right here. We came in up here. You know, as I mentioned in other videos, I've got all the icons enabled, so anything that's on the map will be displayed for me. I know down at the bottom here is the Jedi Consular hangar. The Sage and the Shadow are consulars. That is where my ship will be. And there's other hangars for the other classes here too. So we're going to head down this way. We're going to go to my ship. Now there is the Troopers hangar. Red hexagons, I can't go in there. If I were in a group with someone who was a trooper, this could turn blue for me. So that when they went in, I could go in, and they could go into the Jedi Sage, Jedi Consular hangar. And it's green for me. This is the Jedi Consular phase hangar. They call it Jedi Consular phase. So I'm going to run in here. And there's my starship. There will be an introductory cutscene sequence the first time you get your ship. Introduce you to it. You won't see that here. But you go up to the door, right click on it, and it will take you inside. An instance, actually, it's another instance. You can skip these cutscenes by press the space bar if you want to. Let me show you what the cutscene looks like as you take off. Then you get a loading screen because you're actually going into all other area, really. And you'll see the map reflects this. It is now just showing me the lower deck of the ship, basically. This is the flight deck. This is the world map, like I showed you before, down in the right-hand corner. If I click the world map, it goes sort of outside the ship. It shows the whole of the ship. It shows you where I am. It shows you a few icons of what's available. You can see there's mail here. I can get missions there. I can get missions here. I have a GTN in my ship. There's cargo. And back here, now down here, area, it switched places of world. I'm going to click area again. Now world is back down in the right, and here I am. This is the flight deck. And I have my preferences set. I showed you where to find preferences before. So that the map fades when I move. I'm going to close it. And that's about it. I have training dummies in here. I've got a lot of little extras in my ship. Been playing a long time. I don't want to get too much into what's in the ship now. It's big. As you can see, it's pretty big. It's cool. You've got a bedroom down there. I'm going to go to the cockpit because you're going to need this to travel someplace. We're at Coruscant now. And as we've taken off, theoretically, we are in orbit around Coruscant. This is how you will travel with your ship. In the cockpit, you will see this galaxy map and the base of it, which is that bluish color that's kind of glowing. It's going to right-click that. It's going to open the galaxy map. Anywhere I click, it will zoom in. I can also use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom in. I can left-click and drag and move the map around. Zoom out. There I am. You can see the little green icon that shows me here outside Coruscant. There's Republic Fleet. I can click. It's going to go into the center of the galaxy. Like I said, you can move it around. We're in the core worlds, center of the galaxy. Let's say we want to go to, we could go back to Tython if we wanted to. We could go anywhere. Although you don't want to go to planets that are above your level. If you have missions on another planet, they will probably be lit up, indicating that you need to go there. Let's say we go to Republic Fleet. I click on Fleet, jumps to the fleet, tells me a little bit about the fleet, and if I click Travel Now, it tells me it costs 120 credits. And here we go. So basically the ship flies itself. Hyperspace animation there, and we're Fleet. And if we exit the ship, we will be in the hangar at the Republic Fleet. And there's an important thing that I want to mention here, which kind of bedevils some players when they're new. Generally happens when you are going to a new planet in the course of your class story, specifically in the course of your class story. The mission will not trigger, it will not start, the sequence will not flow if you do things in the wrong order. So if your mission is to go to Taris, the mission will probably say, board your ship and fly to the planet Taris and meet such and such a person and speak with them. If you get to Taris by some other means other than using your ship, exiting at the spaceport and going to talk to that person, the mission probably won't trigger. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where it just doesn't seem like your story can progress, it may very well be that. You may well have to fly back to another planet and fly to the planet you're supposed to go to again in your ship. You'll somehow have to leave that place. If, as I've used the example of planet Taris, if you go to Taris and nothing's happening, you're probably going to have to go back to Coruscant or go to the fleet or go to Tython and then fly to Taris. Get off the ship, exit the hangar, and things should work. Another thing about your starship, wherever you are, the starship is technically. So forgetting for the moment the potential problem of not following the correct sequence for a class story, which is typically going to get borked at the beginning of a class story sequence on a planet. Usually doesn't happen otherwise. But let's say you're in the game at some point and you go in someone else's ship and you go to Tatooine, and you left from and let's say you left from Nar Shaddaa. Well, your ship isn't back at Nar Shaddaa. When you arrive at Tatooine, if you go in the hangar at Tatooine, your ship will be there. So wherever you are, your ship is there too. So don't worry about ever getting back to your ship. Your ship will be at whatever location you are. If you're on the Republic Fleet, you can just go down to the hangars and you will find your ship there. If you're on the planet Alderaan, your ship is on Alderaan too. So don't worry about that. And this is, you'll see my ship there because I'm still in the instance. When I go outside the instance, my ship disappears. All Jedi consulars, shadows, and sages use this for their ship. When they go in, their ship appears there. So that's all I wanted to mention. That's how to use your starship once you get it. And that little bit of advice, should your class story seem not to begin for some reason, it may well be that you've got to you've got to go in your ship, travel somewhere else, then go back to that planet on your ship, and make sure you're following what the story instructions say. All right, so that's enough for this. I will cut this off here.